and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. President Bola Tinubu has said his administration will soon start installing solar panels in institutions. This is in order to save public higher institutions in the country from the heavy burden of high power tariffs usually slammed on them by power distribution companies. The president, who was represented by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, stated this during the 55th convocation ceremony of the University of Lagos Unilag Akoka Yaba, promising that his administration would not take anything concerning education with levity. Recall that higher institutions across the country, including Unilag, have been calling for help regarding high power tariffs. Niger State Governor Umar Bago has said that no child or student should be sent back from school on account of no uniform or Parent-Teachers Association fees, adding that students are free to wear any clothing to school. This is as he promised to pay the PTA fee for pupils in primary and secondary schools across the state. Bago made these pronouncements at Sakin Power Munya Local Council of the state as part of his ongoing statewide tour, noting that the government will take responsibility for the PTA fees of all children in public schools. The governor therefore directed headmasters and principals in public schools to stop collecting PTA fees as a violation would attract punitive measures. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano dual carriageway will be ready for use in 14 months. Idris made this known at the inauguration of the rehabilitation of Section 1 of the road, Abuja to Kaduna rigid pavement, on Thursday. While Section 1 of the road is from Abuja to Kaduna, Section 2 is from Kaduna to Zaria, and Section 3 is from Zaria to Kano. The description and scope of works include scarification and pulverization of existing bituminous surface as sub-base material and filling of embankments. Troops of the Defense Headquarters Special Operations Brigade conducted a coordinated offensive operation against Lakurawa terrorists in the Gudu local government area of Sokoto State. According to a statement signed and made available to newsmen by the coordinator of the Joint Media Coordination Center, Operation Fasan Yama, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, the operation led to an intense firefight during which 6 terrorists were neutralized. The statement added that the troops recovered 4 AK-47 rifles, 160 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, and 1 box of 12.7mm ammunition. But despite this success, the operation came at a very heavy cost as 5 gallant soldiers tragically lost their lives in the line of duty. Minister of State for Defense Bello Matawalle has called for increased collaboration and funding for the defense sector to effectively combat and eliminate banditry and other forms of criminality across the nation. The minister made this appeal during the presentation of the 2025 budget proposal for the Ministry of Defense to the Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Defense at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja. In his address, Matawalle underscored the importance of robust collaboration with lawmakers, commending the commitment and cooperative efforts of both the House and Senate committees on defense, noting that their steadfast support has been instrumental in the ministry's achievements to date. Hope Uzodimma, Imo State Governor, has called on residents to support security agencies in protecting lives and properties. Governor Uzodimma stated this during the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day in Owerri, applauding the steadfast efforts of the armed forces in maintaining peace, safeguarding lives and property, and ensuring the nation's security against internal and external threats. Sharon Ajay now reports.
The Armed Forces Remembrance Day is observed on January 15th to commemorate servicemen as well as honor the fallen heroes. In Imo State, the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day was marked with laying of the wreath by the special guest of honor, the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma in Owerri. Speaking during the event, Governor Uzodinma expressed appreciation to security agencies for maintaining a peaceful atmosphere throughout the Christmas and New Year celebrations.
Imo people owe the security agencies immense gratitude for helping us to battle insecurity in the state. Some have died in the cause of maintaining peace in the state. We shall continue to honor the memories of such heroes. While I commend the hierarchy of the security forces and the men and women who risk their lives for our security,
the governor also called on residents of Imo State to collaborate with security operatives in order to enhance their efforts in protecting lives and property across the state.
I want us to focus on the significance of their sacrifice, laying down their lives for others, for the peace and continued existence of our dear country, Nigeria, as one entity. This sacrifice is the highest form of patriotism, for which we can never repay them enough.
The event brought together prominent leaders, veterans, and serving members of the armed forces to honor the sacrifices of Nigerians' fallen heroes. Governor Uzodinma's message underscores the critical role of security agencies in nation building, urging citizens to foster partnership with them to achieve lasting peace and stability. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced that 7,746 deceased voters were removed from the National Voter Register in 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory as of December 2022. The Director of Voter Education and Publicity, Victoria Etamesi, disclosed this, noting that a thorough cleaning of the voter register is usually done before every general election. In its 2023 post-general election review in December 2024, INEC highlighted challenges with cleaning up the voter register despite improvements in the voter registration process that added 12,298,944 new registrants. The House of Representatives Committee on Environment has decried what it called the failure of relevant government authorities to fund the Environmental Health Council of Nigeria in a bid to curtail disease outbreaks in the country. The committee made this statement while hosting officials of the agency who appeared at the National Assembly complex to defend its 2025 budget estimate. The committee, chaired by the member representing Burutu Federal Constituency, Delta State, Mr. Julius Pondi, expressed displeasure that the agency is being starved of the necessary funding contrary to the provisions of the law. Governor Hope Uzodinma has marked the first anniversary of his second term in office with a special Thanksgiving Mass at the Maria Assumpta Cathedral in Owerri, the state capital. The Holy Mass was officiated by the Archbishop of Owerri Ecclesiastical Province, His Grace Most Reverend Dr. Lucius Iwejuru Ugoji, and attended by top government officials, dignitaries, and residents. Global Television brings you details. On November 11, 2024, Governor Hope Uzodinma of the All Progressives Congress was re-elected for a second term with an overwhelming victory as he secured wins in all 27 local government areas of the state. To mark the first anniversary of his second term, the governor, alongside key stakeholders, dignitaries, and residents, gathered at the Maria Assumpta Cathedral in Owerri in order to reflect on the journey so far. In his homily, the officiating Archbishop Lucius Ugoji urged Christians to always seek God in everything they do.
It is my duty as the Metropolitan Archbishop of Owerri and the spiritual father of Catholics in Imo and Abia states to draw your attention to the sacredness of the solemn oath of office we took before God and the public.
In his remarks, the governor, Hope Uzodinma, thanked the people of Imo State for their unwavering support and trust. He pledged to sustain efforts in improving the state's infrastructure, security, and economy.
So as I speak, even the blind, where the 2020 and the blind, where the 2025, you can feel the difference. So I want to join the Nigerian military in praying for our fallen heroes and join all of us in condoling the widows and widowers left behind.
Highlighting his administration's achievements in the past year, the governor pointed to landmark infrastructural projects and initiatives aimed at enhancing the welfare of residents. He also unveiled plans for the second year of his term, emphasizing economic growth, improved security, and educational reforms.
Those of us who were here to move from our center to go to our local was a journey of almost 2.5 hours. To move from our center to go to our people was a journey of almost 3 hours and a half. Are we talking of venturing to go to the over activities? The Greek law that our doctor and about was unbelievable.
Governor Uzodinma's first year in his second term has been characterized by remarkable strides in developmental projects as well as governance. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reports. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has imposed a fresh curfew on the warring communities of Ilobu and Ifon following renewed communal clashes between the towns. Providing more details, the Secretary of the Union's Board of Trustees, Jide Akinyoye, says the latest attacks began in the early hours of Tuesday. He noted that gunshots were reported in the Odoje and Golden Gate areas of Ifon, leading to displacements as residents fled their homes in fear. However, the Otun Jagun of Ilobu, Chief Goke Ogunshola, denied the allegations, accusing Ifon gunmen of initiating the attacks on Ilobu. The Lagos Blue Line Rail is set to get 6 additional trains to strengthen the state's transportation capacity. The Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority made this known in a statement shared on its X handle. The agency stated that the new trains will deliver value to commuters and thereby increase the state's economic viability, ardent that the 6 train sets, which have scaled the factory acceptance test hurdle, are scheduled for shipment to Lagos and China. From China, I beg your pardon. The federal government has debunked a rumor that the third mainland bridge is shaking, describing it as baseless and driven by ulterior motives. This is after some messages on social media platforms claimed that a part of the third mainland bridge had opened up and the bridge was shaking. The Federal Controller of Works in Lagos State, Olukorede Kesha, says the messages were false and should be disregarded. You're watching the live broadcast of the Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When Midday News returns, Museveni's 7th term bid raises fears of violence in Uganda. We'll bring you details of this as well as foreign and business stories right after the break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Global Television, bringing you live broadcast of the Midday News. In business, Dangote Petroleum Refinery is planning to import more crude oil as supply from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, becomes insufficient for fuel production at the $20 billion Lekki-based facility. Officials at the plant say the facility has ramped up production to about 500,000 barrels per day, with a target of hitting the 650,000 barrels per day mark by June this year. While affirming that the Naira for crude deal is still on as directed by President Bola Tinubu last year, the sources maintain that the facility will have to import more crude to meet its target. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Kadosu, says that the apex regulator was going to build on the traction it has made in terms of reforms in the foreign exchange market, remittance, diaspora engagement, and others in 2025. Kadosu says this via a statement shared on his X handle, which was reposted on the official X handle of the Apex Bank. Recall that the CBN had made several attempts to stabilize the Naira, the latest being the introduction of the electronic foreign exchange matching system, which has boosted transparency in the market and has also granted approval in the principle to 14 new international money transfer operators to strengthen diaspora remittances via official means. The World Bank has forecasted that Nigeria's economy will grow by 3.5% in 2025 and rise slightly to 3.7% in 2026. This projection, contained in the latest Global Economic Prospects report, reflects a modest recovery for the nation amidst persistent economic challenges and global uncertainties. According to the report, Nigeria's economic growth improved to an estimated 3.3% in 2024, driven primarily by strong activity in the services sector, particularly financial and telecommunication services. On the foreign scene, rights groups fear mass atrocities in Uganda as it prepares for an election next year, with the president seeking a 7th term, a crackdown on the opposition, and violent threats from the heir apparent. President Yoweri Museveni will already have been in power for 40 years when the election takes place on January 12, 2026, and has launched the process with a voter registration drive last week. The opposition says hundreds of their supporters disappeared or were killed during the last presidential election in 2021 when musician turned politician Bobby Wine presented the biggest threat yet to Museveni's reign. Brazil's top court has refused to return the passport of right-wing former President Jair Bolsonaro, who had hoped to attend next week's inauguration of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. The court say Bolsonaro still posed a flight risk almost a year since his passport was seized as part of an investigation into his alleged orchestration of a coup attempt to remain in power after elections in 2022. Judge Alexandre de Moraes, who had frequently clashed with Bolsonaro, say there was still the possibility of an attempted evasion by the accused. But Bolsonaro, in a post on X, say the judge's decision diminishes Brazil's standing on the world stage and sends a worrying message about the state of democracy and justice. In sports now, Osun State Police Command has confirmed the death of Adeyemi Adewale while participating in a football competition in Osogbo, the state capital. The deceased, said to be a player of the Ilesha West local government area football team, reportedly slumped on the field and was rushed to a hospital. It was further learned that at the hospital where he was rushed, a doctor confirmed him dead. Osun Police Command spokesperson Yemisi Okpalola, who confirmed the incident in a short statement made available to journalists, say the incident occurred on Thursday in Osogbo. Former Paris Saint-Germain forward Neymar has revealed that Kylian Mbappe became a little jealous after Lionel Messi joined the French club in August 2021. Neymar made the statement during a podcast hosted by Brazilian World Cup winner Romario, where he shared insight about life at PSG and the dynamics within the star-studded front three. Neymar, who joined PSG for a world record £222 million transfer fee in 2017 after his successful stint at Barcelona, admitted that there were tensions between him and Mbappe, but described their relationship as generally positive. In tennis, two-time Australian Open champion Naomi Osaka retired with an injury during her third-round match against Belinda Bencic in Melbourne. Osaka needed treatment on her stomach at 65 in her first fight, which she went on to lose on a tiebreak to her Swiss opponent before shaking hands and leaving the court. Osaka had a troubled build-up to the first Grand Slam of the year, retiring from the final Auckland with an abdominal injury. And that's it on the midday news on Global Television. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nigecomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.